Hello there, welcome to part 17 in my 10 minutes at the piano playlist. This one talking about parallel motion and how that's very, very useful for you to develop a precision, that in itself being made even more precise by closing your eyes when you're doing the exercises. So do think about closing your eyes for this. There's three things I'd like to be presenting to you, and you're going to be doing them in three different ways. Those three things that you're going to be playing with are the chromatic scale, all different major scales, or 12, and then chords, and you can choose different chord types. And to be doing those exercises using the natural fingering that you find the most comfortable, because it's different for everybody, and then doing the exercises with only the same finger on both hands, for example, both hands using the index, and then doing it with a different finger on each hand, but only using those different fingers for each exercise. So for example, left hand ring finger, right hand thumb, for example. And you'll be doing this these exercises. So the parallel motion means that you're creating a melody which is being played basically an octave apart. You could do it 2 octaves apart, of course. Play around with multiple octaves, and as always, make the exercises your own. And you're going to be creating little improvised melodies, but non-stop. It doesn't matter about improvisation in terms of jazz. We're not talking about chords and all these things. We're just purely talking about randomly playing the notes of the chromatic scale, the major scales, and at the end the chords, different chord types, using different finger techniques with your eyes closed for precision. And that it happens to be called, we're doing that in what's called parallel motion. So just to build up to the more complicated things, let's use the chromatic scale and the natural fingering. Now the natural fingering for me for the chromatic scale is my thumb and my middle finger in with both hands. That's my natural fingering. Some people have the index finger on the black notes, which I don't. I have to force myself to do that because it's not natural. So first of all, find your natural fingering for the chromatics, and then for whatever major scale you happen to be working with, that's very, very important. And of course the chords, people play chords in different ways. For example, some people play like C major, they'll use their thumb on top without the index, but I can't do that. That just feels incredibly strange. My index finger's wondering what's going on, so I would play it like this. Some people may even use their ring finger on the C and play like this, but then my little finger's wondering what's going on. So I'm not using my ring finger when I play a triad, generally, depending on the key. So when I play E flat, my ring finger automatically took over because it was the most comfortable. That's what I mean. So everyone has a natural fingering for chromaticism, major scales, and chords. It's unique to you, it's special to you. Don't think that there's a fixed way that applies to everybody, because there isn't. So find your natural fingering and then play around with, for example, the chromatic scale. So you can use a metronome with this or not. It's not necessarily about timing, but you can use rhythm. But it's more about precision. So with your eyes closed, you'll see your internal piano, link in the description below, and videos and whatnot. You'll see your internal piano, and starting from C up to B, it's called a 12-note block, but I have videos on that. And choosing your correct fingering, first of all, play around with different fragments of the chromatic scale. And this is again for precision. So sometimes you might be jumping a little bit, but you'll be primarily focusing on 4, 5, 6, 7 notes chromatically, and then jumping to somewhere else and doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chromatic notes and jumping somewhere else, etc. So for example, with the eyes closed, let's just start on C, and we may go something like, I'm thinking too much. Then I'm going to go to E flat and maybe jump up to A flat, and then do a bit of chromaticism here, and then jump up to B and go up like this. But I'm allowing my fingers to naturally play in their most comfortable way. So there's no conscious involvement in what fingers I'm using. So this does actually go a little way towards helping you remove your conscious interference, or at least understand the concept of being an observer to your hands rather than being in control of them like a puppeteer. So I'll do it just for a few seconds without talking, just to see what happens. Starting on C, a few chromatic phrases here and there, completely at random, not worrying about what fingers are playing which notes, because it's good for that independence. Because of course you don't have 5 and 5, you have 10 complete fingers as one unit. See, I was playing different fingers. My fingers were automatically playing. I don't know exactly what I did. My eyes were closed, and I can't remember. But if you look back at that, you'll see that I can feel that sometimes I was using my ring finger on occasion, and sometimes I may have crossed over a finger like this, or something like that. So various things were happening. Doing that for quite a long time is a really freeing, liberating experience. So we just try that with two different fingers. So I'll try the middle finger on the left and the little finger on the right hand, the pinky, and we'll do something with the chromatics, starting in a different place this time. Now at the moment when I'm doing this, there's no sense of rhythm. What you can do, just to take it to the next level, is to add some rhythm, as if you can hear some chords changing underneath what you're doing, but you're actually you're not really playing to any particular chord sequence, but you're just hearing kind of melodies, and it's really, really, again, liberating, because you're letting the inspirational source just flow through your fingers. So let's just see what this time. So that was with different fingers. This time I'll do that, but using the same finger. So what one haven't I used yet? Thumbs. Don't forget your thumbs, they are also fingers. And I'll just create some more melodic ideas. So I'll start on G, always looking at the chromatic scale. I'm not thinking about keys and chords yet. So let's just think about something that's a bit more melodic. So these will be smaller phrases, but they'll be melodic. So each note will have a different duration, and it will sound melodic. I can hear a kind of swing rhythm. But it's a precision. All that's taking place with my eyes closed. I'm seeing where my hands are going. I know what notes I'm playing because I'm seeing them light up on my internal piano. So that's something that you can do with the chromatic scale with a few different ideas. Let's have a look at the major scale. Let's pick a major scale, E flat. Of course, you've got your natural fingering for E flat, and you're going to, first of all, using random fingers, play only the notes of E flat major scale. So here I'm doing it in that musical way. I'm doing it in a melodic, rhythmic way. I could have done it in a very straight way, which is how I started doing the chromatic one. You see, I'm letting my fingers just be what they want to be, basically. Or I can make it musical. Only looking at the E flat major scale. My fingers are doing what they want to do. That's a very interesting point about this. It's that freedom. What was the last one? Chords. So let's just do something with chords here. So let's just take a chord of F minor 7, for example. Again, description has links which are related to this video, as always. And let's do different fingers this time. So little finger in the left hand, haven't done that yet, and right hand index finger, and we can just do some melodic F minor 7 things. So, for example, so that's quite an interesting little thing to do there. I know this is a 10-minute video, so I can't keep going on, but hopefully you get the idea. So just to conclude this little 10-minute video, you're looking at parallel motion, which is improving your precision, playing 3 different piano components: chromaticism, major scales, and chords. And you're playing them with your natural fingering and what comes naturally. Then you're playing them with the same finger on both hands. Then you're playing them with the same but different finger, but only that different finger on each hand. So like you saw, little finger on the left hand only, and then right hand, for example, index only. And you can apply this to all different scales, not just major scales. You could do it with the blues scale. That would be good if you're doing some jazz. You might take do some parallel motion with a freedom over the blues scale of I don't know, pick what, just C, whatever, C. That kind of thing. And hopefully, if you put all of that together with the metronome, bit of rhythm, you'll have a very nice sense of a sense of liberation when you're playing. And of course, the benefits of this exercise can be carried over to other exercises that you might be doing, and the benefits of it will also show in your performance in general. So hopefully this video has been useful to you. As always, likes, comments, subscriptions always welcome, and have a look at my books and blogs, and I'll see you in the next video. All the best, and bye for now.